What is an interesting story from history that most people probably don't know about? Most people know that during the space race, American spacecraft splashed down into the Pacific Ocean and were recovered by Navy vessels. The Soviets, on the other hand, went for a different approach. Their spacecraft launched out of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, and instead of recovering spacecraft from the ocean, then transporting them back to Baikonur, they decided to cut out the middleman and have the spacecraft land as close to the Cosmodrome as possible. The pilot crew would eject from the re-entry module and parachute to the ground, while the chutes on the re-entry module would deploy afterwards to lessen the impact and allow for recovery of the spacecraft. This led to some interesting and pretty funny encounters. When Yuri Gagarin returned to Earth after being the first man in space on Vostok 1, he was supposed to land fairly close to Baikonur. However, like the American space missions, landing points were more of a general guideline than a certain point on the deck that the spacecraft would touch down. In Gagarin's case, he touched down almost 300 kilometers away from the intended landing site. Two schoolgirls on their way home from school saw the re-entry module plummet from the sky, bounce a couple of times, then come to a stop. Gagarin himself, clad in a bright orange spacesuit complete with a bubble helmet, touched down on the farm of a very surprised Kazakh farmer and his young daughter. Gagarin assured them that he was a Soviet like themselves, informed them that he had just returned home from space, and requested to borrow their telephone in order to call Moscow and arrange for a pickup.